Hello, by popular demand I'm taking a look at this video from Reddit. Now this video of a UFO shot from an airplane window isn't actually that new. I looked into it and found that the earliest version comes from February the 3rd, 2013, which was over 8 years ago. But anyway, so we're looking out of an airplane window and we see something whiz by, and we have some reaction audio as well. So first of all, the UFO that we're looking at is not this thing here. This is just a plane. This is just a plane flying by, leaving a contrail. It's flying in the opposite direction, so it goes by pretty quick. And it's quite possible that the reaction from the person filming or someone looking out the window nearby is that they just saw this other plane go by, because it's fairly close. It's a little bit unusual. You can tell it's a plane because it's got it's got a big contrail behind it, obviously, and you can't see the wings because it's very low resolution. It's only a few pixels here. The wings are actually right there in the middle, obviously, but due to the resolution, we can't see them. But this isn't the UFO. This is just a plane leaving a contrail. So let's back it up. Here comes the plane, and zipping over the top is the thing we're actually interested in. It looks like something is going past the window so fast that it just kind of zips by and leaves a streak of light as it goes by. But is that actually what is happening? Let's take a closer look at that. There's only 7 frames that this thing is actually on screen. It starts frame number 1 here. You see it's a streak, so you can just think it's come in and it's left a streak of light. The first thing that makes me think that this perhaps isn't actually motion blur, this isn't a motion blur thing moving very fast, is that it's different thickness at the start and the end. Now this could be some strange thing with a shutter that takes in light gradually, then takes in a lot more light, and then takes less light at the end, but I've never seen anything like this. But that's kind of a minor point. There's much bigger problems with this. Go to the next frame, we see that it's moved down. It's moved from here to here, and it continues to move down. 1, 2, 3. So it moves down to here, and then it kind of moves more horizontally in this direction, which, all in all is kind of weird. It's weird motion. It starts out here. It goes to here. It gets smaller, which makes it seem like it's moved further away. And then it gets even smaller, so it feels like it's moved even further away again. And then it kind of gets bigger again, like it's moving closer to her, which makes no sense. But that again isn't even the biggest problem. We can get a much better sense of this if we take these 7 frames and we merge them all into one image. So we see down here, we see the plane leaving the contrail. Now the plane is moving in this direction, and there's a bit of movement of the camera. So we see this little kind of upward motion. So it starts here and moves to here. Now this is in stark contrast to what we actually see with this UFO, which starts up here, and then it moves to here, then down to here, and then across to here. Now, the thing about motion blur, where something moves through the frame, then it's going to leave motion for the part of the frame that's being exposed, where the shutter's open, and then you won't see anything for the parts of the frame where the shutter is closed. However, if something is just moving through the frame, it would move along a path, which would be a smooth path. Not necessarily super smooth, but you'll be able to see that the segments that are missing are going to be the same direction as the segments which are actually there, which isn't what we see in this case. We see horizontal segments, and then we see in between them diagonal segments. So from here, this has to move from here to here, and then from here to here. But the actual supposed motion blur is always completely horizontal. So that means it's not actually motion blur. So you can see the problem with this perhaps a little bit clearer if I draw a path kind of joining these, what would have actually had to happen for this to work. It would have to start here, then move to here. Then it would have to go down to here, then go over to here, then down to here, then over to here, then down to here, over to here, and here, 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 and then off to here. So this isn't the path of something moving across the screen. This is a series of horizontal lines. Now they're all perfectly horizontal, which perhaps is another clue as to what's going on. Now you might say, is this just camera motion? But it doesn't actually matter if it's camera motion or if it's the motion of the object itself. You're still going to get a path. Look at the plane's path down here. We've got a very nice path that just simply goes like this. And if it was camera motion, then these dramatic movements that we're seeing here would be reflected down here, but they're not. We just see them in this object's motion. So I think there's two main options that we have here. One is that it's a fake, that someone has gone in and they've added to these 7 frames what they thought of as being nice motion, blurred, streaky object moving through the frame. The second option is that it's some kind of reflection. It could be something in the cabin or on the window that is causing this streak to move across, and it is, you know, perfectly horizontal, which I think perhaps is a clue as to the nature of the streak. I can't figure out exactly what is causing it, but you know, it could be something that's in the cabin. It could be something that's external. It could be that the sun is somehow reflecting off this plane and then reflecting off another part of this plane and then causing this weird reflection in the window. Seems like a rather strange set of circumstances, but I guess it's theoretically possible. A fake would be not that difficult to do if all you did is you took this shape and you just stamped it down in 7 places. But it's kind of interesting that it changes size. Like it gets smaller between these 3 positions here, which, you know, there's no reason why someone was doing that if they were faking it. And if they were faking it, you'd think they would just make it go straight across rather than kind of move around in this odd way. So the strangeness of the motion, I think, kind of speaks against it being a fake, and perhaps there's a little point in favor of it being some kind of weird reflection. What kind of weird reflection? I don't really know. So I think ultimately what we have here is another low information video. We can't tell what's going on because there's not enough information here. This is a very low resolution. It's kind of blurry. We can't really see anything about this reflection or this shape. We can't even really make out this plane down here. What we do know here is that this is not an object. This is not an object flying from left to right in this scene. If it was, it would leave a continuous trail and it wouldn't have these horizontal segments. So ultimately, it's not an unidentified flying object. It's an unidentified, perhaps flying not object. And ultimately, I don't think we're ever going to figure out exactly what it is, really because there's not enough information. If we could perhaps get the original video and get more information about which flight it was and things like that, yeah, perhaps we could do a little bit more. But given this, all we can say is that it's not an object, maybe fake, maybe a reflection, and maybe some kind of, you know, weird trans-dimensional time warp, space-time artifact. But I put that one at the bottom of the list. Let me just stop you there, Mick. I was thinking about it, and if it was a reflection, you're still going to get some kind of motion blur. So the only way it could be a reflection is if there was some kind of weird strobing light, or if the shutter speed of this camera was so incredibly fast that it managed to freeze everything in certain positions. So I don't think either of those things are very likely, so I'm just going to have to go fake, probably my number 1 explanation. And that's all I have. So if you like this video and you'd like to see more videos like this video, then please subscribe. Thank you.